I think we now have the audience here, so I would like you to go ahead with your address. Go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, I want to ask you, with this matter, this hat, do you see quite smart or strange? Whenever I talk, I give talk, I always stress we are same human being, audience, speaker, basically same, emotionally, mentally, physically. And more important, everyone want happy life, do not want problem. So everyone have the right to achieve that or desire or goal. So further,
If we go further,
entire 7 billion human beings, mentally, emotionally, physically same, and the desire all have same, and all have same right. Now, even animals also have that kind of desire, but emotionally, because of biological differences, emotion level, there are some differences, and mental, particularly intelligence, much differences. But desire for peace, happy life, even animal, small, tiny insects also have same desire and right to exist, to survive like that. So now important is that because you see, if you consider this speaker as something special, then my experience, no use for you.
no relevance.
No relevance. If you consider me same, then some of my experience can be useful to the audience. And then also, you see, consider we are same. For my part, I never consider I'm something special, I'm 14th Dalai Lama. I never consider that. I just simple Buddhist monk, another human being out of one of the 7 billion human beings. So then I feel very easy to communicate with others. If I stress I'm something special, then when we met people, you see, there are some people, you see, they consider importance of their own position or something. Then formality is automatically come. Then formality is actually one barrier of close connection. Informal, completely. When we born, no formality. At the time of death, no formality. I think between there, when we enter hospital, medical treatment, no formality. So, more serious experience in our life, no formality. When we quite okay, then we consider formality as something important. In my mind, it is quite silly. 소수 가서 진짜 여러 가지 배울 줄 알아요. 덤다하게 소수 찍으셔야지. 어디 소리지? 소소스 직배 십시다 잡고 십시 타모를 소스 직대로 수도
So there is a Tibetan saying that that kind of self-imprisonment is like a spider spinning its own web and getting caught in it.
So we too much emphasis some minor thing, and that creates additional problem. Then on top of that, a lot of problem which we humanity now facing. So much killing and starvation. Same human being on the same planet. Very sad, very, very sad. When we look television, some Middle East or Africa, children due to
Malnourished.
Their face. It's so sad. And meantime, violence, bombing. What benefit? All this comes. Me, we, and self-centered attitude, and don't care about others' well-being, others' life. So now, in order to tackle this problem, not through prayer. I think I'm Buddhist. In my daily practice, prayer also included. But for individual, prayer is relevant and useful. But for society or world, prayer, I think not much meaning. One occasion in Hiroshima, some Nobel laureates peace sort of meeting. So some Nobel laureates and some organization who also have the Nobel laureate, right? You see, they mention peace through prayer. Then my turn. I'm quite skeptical. Peace through prayer. I think 1,000 years we pray, but not positive result. During war, I think both sides pray to God. And nowadays we see Sunni, Shia, some sort of conflict. I think both pray to Allah. And sometimes I jokingly, of course, with my respect, jokingly, telling both sides pray to one God. Then God, I think, find difficult. His bless should go this side or that side. So then logically, if we have the opportunity seeing Buddha or Jesus Christ or Muhammad ask, please bring peace on this planet. I think these sort of, founder, teachers, I think logically will say, who creates violence? Who destroys peace? Not God, but you. So you have the responsibility to solve this problem, since you created. So that's quite logical. So at that time, in Hiroshima, I mentioned peace come only through action, not through prayer, not through blessing. So then there are many Japanese, some I think local officials also there. They usually remain a little bit sort of
reserved.
But then, when I expressed that way, they also
Applauded.
So that's true. So now, this such terrible sort of situation which we are facing, if we not make effort with full enthusiasm, determination, this present sort of situation, unhealthy situation, go continuously, then this 21st century will be same century, 20th century, lot of bloodshed, suffering. So, I think our generation witnessed what really happened in 20th century. According to some historian, they say more than 200 millions of people killed through violence. So if such immense sort of violence create new shape, better shape of this planet, and then we may justify, but that is not the case. So this beginning of 21st century, some pockets, some sort of violence, this, I believe, symptom of past mistake. And I think today's reality much changed, but concerned people who deal this sort of problem still carrying old thinking. Whenever you find some sort of disagreement or differences, you see, they rely on use force. That's old thinking. The 20th century's thinking, that outdated. So now, see, firstly, population much increased, and world, the economy or the livelihood, very much interdependent. A global economy, you see, no national boundary. So that's the new reality. Now, in order to face this new reality, old thinking not fit. Now we must create new way of thinking, more sense of global responsibility. I really, you see, impressed. Recently, BBC reported many European young people, they expressed they are the global citizens. So, that's, I think, hopeful sign. And I personally also, you see, come across in Europe, because previously, different country, even you see, killing each other. Eventually, European Union created. Now, for example, one of my great friend, respected friend, as a matter of fact, almost my tutor about quantum physics, von Weizsäcker, a German scientist. You see, he, in I think the 1990s, and he also quite old then, he told me once, when he was a young German, in German eye, French is their enemy. And similarly, in the eyes of French, Germany is their enemy. But that kind of situation completely changed. Actually, the generation or the leader who implement the concept of European Union was started by de Gaulle, a French President de Gaulle, and the German Chancellor Adenauer. So when they are young, negative attitude. But then time changed, reality changed. Then these two persons, I think, are leading leaders to set up a European Union. So these, I think, really, through difficult experience, more mature, more realistic. So these ideas, these was thinking, come. So therefore, I think time passes, you see, people talking more and more global issue. So when I think my own sort of experience, when I reached India, 1959, April, then main concern is those several thousand Tibetans who follow with us, the immediate sort of their livelihood. Then gradually, immense help or sympathy from Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, Indian Prime Minister. You see, as eventually settlement, project of settlement, and also education to the children. So at that time, our main concern is how to create self-supporting community. Meantime, preserve our own identity, and then education, modern education, plus our own language of these things. And then we also created such a monastic institution to carry continuously knowledge about Nalanda masters sort of thinking like that. Now, so these are work for preservation of our tradition. Then 1973, I had opportunity to visit some European countries. Then, and also you see, while we are remaining in India, more sort of opportunity meeting with people from the West. And then gradually, we noticed the society where material sort of material facility highly developed, but people who in that kind of society, that kind of lifestyle, not necessarily very happy one. Some my friend, I think a billionaire, very rich, but as a human being, very unhappy, I notice. So therefore, material external development alone, no guarantee or create happy human being, happy society. So then, at that time, I also, you see, start talking sense of global responsibility. You see, actually, the sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. On that base, develop sense of serious concern other people's well-being as your own well-being, like that. So therefore, then you see more wider contact from our own experience, how to develop inner peace. Then, of course, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. So the method to cultivate or to promote sense of concern of others' well-being on the religious base will not cover entire 7 billion beings. So we need, without relying on religious belief, simply use our common sense, common experience, and particularly scientific finding. As I mentioned earlier, last 30 years, I have series of discussion with scientists. So, some occasion, the scientists, you see, through their own sort of investigation, what is the basic human nature? Then they concluded, use some different reasons. Then they say, basic human nature is more compassionate. So that really gives me real hope. If our basic nature is anger, then no hope. If basic nature of human being is more compassionate as a social animal, because the affection is the basic foundation of our survival. So therefore, more compassionate mind here, physical, more healthier, more friendship comes, then happy family, happy community. So therefore, you see, there is real hope. Now time come, we have to make effort, the happier world and global level. That's the sense of universal responsibility, the sense of global responsibility. Now that key factor is sense of concern of others' well-being. So sense of concern of others' well-being. Also, you say, I think the best way to get benefit to oneself. Firstly, as soon as that kind of mental attitude comes, you see, you develop more self-confidence and enthusiasm, optimism. That brings more inner strength, inner peace. That gradually affect our health also, like that. So, we already now committed how to educate to children from kindergarten up to university level about this moral ethics, not relying on religious approach. So I think within next few months we may finalize draft curriculum about the moral ethics, strictly not based on religion, like that. So we here, according to my own experience now, you see, we are same, but differences. You see, I'm now quite old, on elder person, and also my life. You see, almost I think at the age 16 I lost my freedom. Age 24 I lost my own country. Then over now 57 years, there's a lot of difficulties, a lot of sort of heartbreaking news from Tibet, a lot of difficulties. And then also, you see, when, as I mentioned earlier, when hearing or seeing, a lot of problem, essentially human, our own creation. But these, you see, not causing depression or kasurta,
sadness and depression.
Or like that. So therefore, I want to share, according to my own experience, no matter how difficult it is, we have the ability to keep inner strength.